Hey everybody, happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day is right around the corner. So I thought today I would make a yummy dish that you could serve for brunch, or my kids used to bring breakfast in bed to me every Mother's Day when they were little, so maybe that's an option. But I thought we'd mix it up a little bit. So we're making a dish that's actually from the Middle East and North Africa region, and it's called Shakshuka. It is a egg dish. Eggs are cooked in a rich tomato and pepper broth that's seasoned with cumin and paprika and harissa, which is a spicy, peppery paste, again, indigenous of the Middle East and North Africa. And it's really yummy. I'm going to put a little twist on it and add some asparagus and spinach. But I think you're really going to like it. It's easy to make, and you could really impress your moms. So to start, I chopped one small onion, one large leek, 4 large garlic cloves, and 1 red bell pepper. It was kind of red and orange, actually, but I'm sauteing that in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. It's starting to get really nice and fragrant, and you want these veggies to start to get soft, which they are, and then we're going to add in our tomatoes and our seasoning. We're also going to serve this dish with toasted pita bread. So earlier I cut pita bread into wedges, lightly brushed it with olive oil, seasoned it with a little salt, and toasted it for 5 minutes in a 375-degree oven just to give it a little texture. And when this dish is done, you're going to see that you're going to dip it into like the gooey eggs with the tomatoes, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. So now we're going to add in our tomatoes. So I've got one 28-ounce can. I recommend, if you can find them, San Marzano tomatoes. They come from a special region in Italy, and they're really like the best flavor. They're very sweet. If you can't find them, then you can use anything in a 28-ounce can. I also like to use the whole tomatoes. Ooh, listen to that sizzle. And we're going to crush those down. Again, I just think it gives nice texture and flavor. So you can just sort of mash those down with your spatula or even a potato masher. Let me turn my heat down just a little bit. And we smash these guys, and then we're going to add in our seasonings. Oh, that smells so good. The key here also for this dish is to let your sauce cook for a while so that it gets nice and thick. And then we're going to make wells in the sauce, and we're going to drop our eggs in and cover the pan, and they're going to poach right in the sauce. But you want the sauce thick enough so that the eggs don't run all over, and they kind of hold in those little wells. So our tomatoes are going away. We're bubbling away here. It's pretty already. And then for spices, we're going to add in a teaspoon of salt. Kosher salt if you have. Actually, I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. We can always add more later, so you can't take it out. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Then we've got paprika. This is like very traditional in Shakshuka. I like that word. That's why I decided to make it. 2 teaspoons of paprika. And then 1 teaspoon of cumin. I love the smell of cumin. And then harissa, which as I said before, it's a mixture of like peppers and garlic and spices. It has some heat to it. So we're going to start off with about 2 tablespoons of this. This is a harissa sauce. If you get harissa paste, you might want to go a little bit less to start because it's a little more intense. So we're going to do, this is going to have a little bit of heat to it, this dish. We're going to do 2, come here, whoops, that's 1 1/2, and then another one. So about 2 tablespoons of the harissa. Let's mix that all in. It smells delicious already. We're going to add our asparagus, as I mentioned, and our spinach just before we add our eggs because they cook very quickly. They'll cook at about the same time as the eggs will. So I'm going to let this go now. So this is going to cook, and I'm going to stir it frequently, and it's probably going to cook for about 10 minutes so it gets nice and thick and we can make those wells. You don't want it to be pasty. You still want it to have some liquidity to it. So I'm going to keep checking it, but I'm going to say 8 to 10 minutes, and we'll be ready to add our eggs. So we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, you can see we're bubbling away here, and now you can see what I meant by the sauce thickening. See when I go like that, we're going to be able to make nice little wells in this sauce and plop our eggs in there so that they stay kind of all centralized in one place. And when we put the eggs in, I like my yolks really runny. If you don't, you just let it cook a little bit longer. So I'm going to let it go for about 5 minutes and check it. If you like runny yolks, about 5 minutes. Set whites, runny yolks. If you like a firmer yolk, probably more like 8 minutes. So now I'm putting in a pound of asparagus. I cut off about 1/3 of the end, the woody part of the stalk, and then I just chop these into like 1 to 2 inch pieces. So those guys are going into the pool. Whoopsie, we had an escaper. I'll get him in a minute. And then I'm going to do 2 cups of spinach, packed cups. So I know by my hands, that's about 1 cup of packed spinach. You can measure it out. And then this shrinks way down, as you guys know. And 2. Again, the proportions, measurements on this stuff doesn't have to be exact. You could put, like I said, some people put meat in the shakshuka. You could do that. Pre-cook the meat before you do it. You could put in butternut squash pre-cooked. You could do a lot of different things that would make a really creative dish here. So we're going to let this cook just until our spinach is wilted. Then we're going to drop those eggs. Kind of fold the spinach in there. Goes pretty fast. Looks a little like Christmas. This might be a great idea for a Christmas brunch too, with all those colors. Okay. Get our edges clean. All right, now I'm going to start making the, excuse me, the wells. So I've got 6 eggs. I think I can fit 6 eggs into this pan. The size of your pan will determine how many eggs you can fit. You could also do this, incidentally, in a smaller pan and make an individual portion or one for just 2 people and just cut back, the same amount on everything and make it for, if you don't have 6 people to feed. Okay. All right, here we go. Time to make our wells. It's like it's time to make the donuts. It's time to make our wells. Ha ha ha. Okay. Well, number 1, and we're going to take an egg and just crack it. I'm going to turn my heat down to low. And there goes 1. Make another well. So you can see, I can see right through to the bottom of the pan. So that's going to cook really nicely and stay right where it's supposed to. Okay. Another well. Oops. He's stuck. Okay. Get in there. Oh. Okay, I got a little shell in there and a little trick. I don't know if you know this hack. The easiest way to get shell out of a bowl or anything with eggs is to use another piece of shell. They will stick together. Oops. If they don't escape under the tomatoes. There. Okay. And then another well. You can see how pretty this dish is going to be too. I don't want to say anything, but my camera person is salivating. All right. And then one more. Over here. By the way, when I was cooking this sauce I did it for about 10 minutes. The heat was on low, so you need to bring the heat down a little bit so it doesn't, you don't want it to, like I said, reduce and get pasty and too thick. All right, there's 5 eggs and 1 in the middle. Okay. All right, now I'm just going to season, watch my hands. I'm just going to season the eggs themselves because they didn't get any seasoning with a little bit of salt. Love my salt and a little bit of black pepper. Okay. All right, we're on low, bubbling away. And I'm going to cover this pan and we're going to let it go. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes and we're going to check on it and see how it looks. Like I said, I like a runny egg. If you like it harder, you can go longer, but just after 5 minutes, check it, and then you can kind of gauge where you want to end up. We'll be back. The moment of truth. Come on in. Let's see how they look. Oh, look at that. Perfection. The whites are hard. The yolks are still runny. I think it's going to be delicious. So let's garnish it up. I'm going to take it off of this heat. And we're going to put some garnishes on this guy. So you can do a bunch of different things. Traditional is cilantro. So we're going to do some of that all over. And then I'm also going to do some mint, which is very big in Middle Eastern cooking, and I love the fresh pop of brightness it adds. Also have loads of it invading my garden out back. So I'm just going to put some full leaves all around. It's going to be so good. You're going to get this little burst of brightness every now and then. Okay. And then feta cheese is very commonly used. Not always, but again, whatever you like. You could do goat cheese. I've heard it's amazing. A friend of mine had it with burrata when I told her I was making this. We do some feta. And then some scallions. Again, a little bright pop. And then I pulled out some pea shoots. We'll do a couple of those. These are really cool. They're in the produce section, and they're just really bright. They're the shoots from peas, and they're pretty. They're perfect for a garnish. A few of those, and then a little avocado for creaminess. So I just sliced this guy up, and I'm literally going to fan it out. Maybe where do we want to put that? And that's it. I'm going to shoot a couple pictures and serve this up, and we'll be back to take a bite. All right, we're back. I took a million photos, which annoys my family like crazy. And it looks and smells incredible. So you can see here our egg. I'm going to cut into it now. Oh, beautiful, perfect gooiness. Oh my goodness. All right. Time to take a bite. It's a moment of truth. Oh, that is so good. A little of the avocado. You should really make this for your mom. She would love it. And you saw how easy it was. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.